Hi, I'm Chris Costantino, founder of SonicTribe, home for the truly independent musician, and today, outstanding interview with Zack Greenburg. Now, Zack writes the beat report for Forbes, but he's also written for Washington Post and Sports Illustrated, Huffington Post, and other periodicals. He serves regularly as an expert source for BBC, Bloomberg, CNBC, Reuters, Good Day New York, and other print, web, radio, video outlets. He's recently been guest speaker at Harvard Business School, Howard University, and what's probably important to a lot of us, Berklee College of Music. His most recent offering to the public is a business-focused biography of Jay-Z titled Empire State of Mind. In this interview, I think you'll find it excellent because we discuss not just Jay-Z, but one, how Zack got into the field that he's in, which is really unique. It's business of music, that is finance and music, and he melds these into his articles. He's a brilliant writer. He's also becoming one of the foremost names of people that are analyzing well the changes in the music industry. His focus tends to be on the major labels, but you'll see how he's got great perspective for independent musicians, and that's what we were looking for, and he delivered. So without further ado, here's the interview with Zack Greenburg. Hope you like it. Zack, for joining us today. And how you doing out there? You're in New York right now, yeah?
Yeah, it's great. Thanks so much for having me on, Chris. Really appreciate it.
Oh, geez, no, it's our pleasure, really. Before we get into um, the book and gosh, you've made a lot of I've seen a lot of your interviews, and it's great. You're getting a lot of publicity from the book, rightfully so. I want to explain because a lot of our listeners are probably thinking right now, why is Chris, an independent musician, interested in Zack? And let me say this: your focus at Forbes is a unique one. It's music and finance. Now, how did you get into that area of writing?
Well, it was kind of a funny story. I started at Forbes first in 2005 as a summer intern when I was in college. I did another summer internship and I freelanced towards the end of college for them during the year. And then they brought me on full time in 2007. And right when I got there, they were about to put together this first hip hop Cash Kings package. And there was this one editor, it was kind of a brainchild, and she was kind of looking around and she said, "Oh, well, is there anybody here under 30 who can help me out with this?" Because Forbes is a little younger now than it was back then. But so she came over to me and she said, you know something about hip hop. Can you help me with this? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And so we put together this package, the Hip Hop Cash Kings, and it measured the top 20 earners in hip hop. And I wrote a feature for the magazine about the earning power of dead rappers. And I think
Yeah.
Tupac Shakur at the time was making more than pretty much any living rapper other than, like 4 or 5 guys. And so we had a table at the bottom of the 5 guys, the top earners in hip hop, and all of whom were actually making more than Shakur. And the top 3 were Jay-Z, Diddy, and 50 Cent. And so we put out this article, and then online there was the Hip Hop Cash Kings component, listed the top 20 earners. And when it hit, Jay-Z, Diddy, and 50 Cent were so excited about it that they actually made a remix called "I Get Money," the Forbes 1-2-3 remix.
Yeah.
And that kind of got a lot of radio play and stuff, and so that kind of snowballed, and it kind of got Forbes a lot of recognition in sort of the hip hop community, as an evaluator of wealth. And a couple months later, the editor who had worked on this with me left, and she kind of handed me all of her contacts, and I became the point person for hip hop at Forbes. And so since then, I've expanded into covering music on the whole, just the business of music for Forbes. And every year I still put out the Hip Hop Cash Kings package. And my blog on Forbes, the Beat Report, focuses on the business of music broadly, but still a lot of hip hop stuff in there, a lot of rock stuff, just it's kind of a mix of industry reporting and how much these guys make, and sort of quirky interviews that I kind of come across and try to share. So yeah, that's kind of how it all got started.
Yeah, and that is actually a great introduction to why and how I kind of came across your writing because you did, and I'm not blowing smoke here, I'm totally serious. You did the best report on EMI I've ever read, because my mind in terms of reporting the blogs that we write are kind of a little bit tongue in cheek, but factually they're on the money. Um, so when doing research on EMI and the implosion of EMI, I was doing a bit of research here and there and reading different reports, and most of the stuff out there, to be frank, is junk. It's crap. Um, it's not reporting, it's sensationalism or very, very surface stuff. Yours was way above the fray, and that's how actually we introduced each other because I sent you an email saying, because I was talking to people here saying, man, this guy did a really great job, and someone said, send him an email. I'm sure he gets criticized nonstop, but because you're so out there in public. So I quickly shot you an email and thanked you for the report on EMI, and we got to talking and thought an interview would be a good idea. And that's what's interesting. Your perspective on the industry isn't just, oh yeah, well this is what has been in the papers and
Right.
this is what's been said. Your perspective is this is what's in the papers, this is what the financials are, and this is the real story. Which,
Well, thanks so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely try to